Murder bell. Hit it. Murder bell. Welcome to the Moot Point Show. I am Brian Moote. With me, as always, the ever exceptionally clumsy and face-planty Patrick Moote. And today we have an extra special guest, live from Lexington in the murder basement of the mansion we're staying in, Chase Hill.
Boom!
Producer Chase.
Coming to you live.
Hey, let's cheers. We should cheers. We're in the basement, murder basement.
Hit the murder bell again. So right now we are at Kristen's wedding.
You're so fucked.
It's really strong.
Sorry.
Right now we are in the basement of the mansion we're staying at in Lexington, Kentucky. It's me, Patrick, Chase, also Tiffany and Bert staying with us. They are yet to be seen today.
There's 6 souls here as well.
Yeah,
there's definitely ghosts. No.
Tell me about it.
Pat just flicked the. We have at our table in the basement. We have one of the skeletons we found the other night. Skeletor. He is in the basement with us. We are also on Facebook Live right now, and we will field your questions Facebook Live in a little bit. I am wearing my Indiana Jones
You
Keeneland
guys all
racing
look
hat.
so heavy. When'd you get so fat?
Pat's doing jokes as if he were the skeleton. Skeletor.
This must be
Patrick
the
Moote is
South
on
because
fire.
You guys are all so fat.
Look, he's got one hair. Do you see it?
He does. He's like Homer Simpson.
So, as Patrick is forgetting to remember, this is a audio medium and also visual if you're on Facebook Live.
They can't see us?
But the people listening don't know that you were flicking the skeleton's
I was
mouth.
flicking a skeleton mouth.
Okay.
I feel like the people who are listening, there's going to be ghosts that come in and out of the speakers.
I mean, there might be.
So when we listen back, it's going to go, Death to Brian.
If weird stuff happens.
I'm going to kick all your asses.
See, that'd be
My name's
interesting.
Brian, and I'm dead.
I know. Okay, so let's back it up. So we are in Lexington for Kristen's wedding. Let's go through the stories of the day so far. Set the table, as they say in the business. And speaking of the basement, we are in a basement that is brick walls. There is a plastic skeleton, and definitely they used to be in some sort of bar industry because there's a bar table down here.
Brian
with
pointed
Christmas
out
ornaments on it.
very astutely. Brian pointed out that because there's bar stools down here, that they must have been in the restaurant industry, which is possible.
Call me Matlock. Mootlock.
Mootlock.
Such an awful joke. All right, so we got here on Thursday. We drove out on Thursday. We got here Thursday night. What did we do Thursday night, Patrick?
We went ghost hunting, and that's when we found our friend Skeletor.
So Thursday night we get here, and this mansion is way too big for the 5 of us staying in it.
It is
There's
American
like 10
Horror
bedrooms.
Story times 12.
And that's what thing is in the South. These mansions are so old and so creepy that they just look super haunted. So we went on a 2 a.m. ghost hunt, which you can see on Facebook Live on my Facebook page. And I'm not even kidding you. We were just messing around. We go into the basement, and they are plastic skeletons, clearly for Halloween decorations.
People who own this place are hilarious.
They're
funny.
This place ain't big enough for the 6 of us. And I say 6 because there's 3 dead people here.
Someone's got to go.
There is. And there's not enough room for all of us, and I'm pretty skinny.
Pat's doing his, every time he goes into that weird voice, he's making the skeleton talk.
Whoa, that's a big mouth on someone who's such an idiot.
And Chase is now being like fake crowd laugh.
He's
All right.
tracking.
So we get here on Thursday night. We do a ghost hunt. Patrick finds plastic skeletons in the basement.
Okay. So here's the deal: is that we went through the entire house, and we started, and I'm afraid of ghosts. I believe in them. I write horror movies. I love horror movies. So I believe in ghosts. But I think at some point when you've been drinking, like if a ghost or like a werewolf presented itself in front of me, I would have just looked at it and been like, "Oh goodness."
Right.
That's happening now.
I mean,
but I feel like we were tempting the ghosts all night. All night we were like, if there is a ghost somewhere, it will come here and it will scare us.
Well, I don't believe in ghosts either, but I also don't believe in pissing them off.
No, you shouldn't.
I picked up this rusty ass bell and dung it on the way down.
I got
the
really
stairs.
upset when you did that.
Of course, because that's the thing that
because
ends
that's
up.
one of those things. Okay. Also, I have other Exhibit B, shot glass that Brian threw at me, and he broke. Like, if you're in a haunted house, the last thing you want to do
break stuff.
And start using like, oh, hey, what is that, a music box? Let's wind it up and hear what song it has to play. Like, are you out of your mind? What are you doing?
You're right.
Activating the haunted objects by throwing them and by dinging them.
Listen.
I mean, now we're doing a pod. Like, I have now tempted these ghosts so many times. I believe they don't exist. But here's what happened. We went through the whole house, came all the way down to the basement, ended there. I, in an attempt to scare Brian, hid into the darkest room of the basement.
Right.
Went in there.
Which got me a day later.
Yeah, I got him.
You got chased a day later?
I did.
Oh,
I
we'll
got
get to
him
that.
last
We got to go
night.
through a whole chronology of this.
So I go,
story.
and I hide in this room, and Brian's looking for me, and he's got a flashlight, and I can see the light, like looking around. He's like, Pat, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so not afraid of anything. I am a baller. All of a sudden, the light flashes through the room, and I realize I'm standing 1 foot from two skeleton heads that are hooked to the top of like mannequin bodies.
Yep.
And they're staring
Super
me right
weird.
in the face. I walked out of there, and Brian has on video. I've never the look of sheer terror on my face is so real and so thick. Like I was terrified.
Okay.
I've never been more scared in my life.
So we do that ghost hunt. Then Friday, and right now we've been bar hopping through Lexington for a bit. We left here about 11.
What gave it away?
Hopefully not the way we're speaking. So on Friday we went out to Keeneland, the race. Are you leaving, Pat? You're just out now. Pat's out now.
It's good radio.
So
Pat,
it is great radio. Pat just
Pat.
walks out of the show. He leaves.
Pop in
the
my
basement.
peas too. Pat,
Yeah. Pat. So Friday we go to Keeneland. Chase is not here at this point. Chase is still in Atlanta because he has to make sure the show runs smoothly on Friday.
Here's an impression of me yesterday when I wasn't here.
It's pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
Solid impression.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I
Keep
feel
going,
bad
keep going,
because
keep
we had all your stuff here. You flew out later. We all get over to Keeneland and start drinking with Kristen and Bart, and everything's amazing. And I pissed off Bart immediately.
I was watching social media, and you guys, I was so pissed off.
We had
There's a lot of things that happened after that. When I came here, but continue.
Yeah. So
Couldn't get in.
we are in. We pull up to the hotel, the Campbell House Inn or something like that, and on our bingo board for the bird show, it's like Bart gets mad at somebody. Well, guess who knocked off a square right immediately? It was me. When I walk up to Bart, I was like, "Congratulations!" and I hug Bart, and Bart goes, "That's the only hug I'm giving out right now. A little bit stressed." I was like, "Good." Pissed off Bart immediately. We get on a bus. We go over. Kristen's there. It's all great. Keeneland was super fun. We had a blast, like hanging out there, drinking, racing. Chase still not there yet. We don't know when he's gonna show up. He's gonna arrive.
Just wait till you hear the stories later.
Mysteriously, first bet I make at Keeneland was $50 on the favorite of a race. Right? It's like bet 50 on this horse. I win.
What a genius.
I mean, come on. But
okay, first move you made of the day also was the hats that you bought.
Oh,
One
I
of
bought
which you're
hats.
wearing right now.
I bought Indiana Jones hats.
Indiana Jokes, dude.
Chase,
Indiana Jones.
Chase, that could be the name of this podcast. This is gonna be a long
This is gonna
story.
be a long
I want
story.
it to be because it's a great story. It's very
Long story long.
I swear to God, this is a good story. Just follow along, buckle in.
Thanks,
Buckle
bud.
up.
So,
Buckle up.
my mom was really concerned that we didn't
Lady
have sunglasses
pants.
or sunblock, and she didn't want us squinting all day and hurting our faces. So I went into the team shop or whatever they call it, the horse racing shop, to buy sunglasses. Now, sunglasses in Keeneland at the horse track are minimum $300 for these stupid sunglasses. So then-
$300?
Yeah. So then I bought the only dude hats they had besides visors, which is these dumb Indiana Jones hat, and mine is humongous.
Indiana Jokes, bro.
Indiana Jokes hats.
That's what I was calling you yesterday because you were out of control.
I was Indiana.
Indiana
Well,
Jokes.
we'll get into that later.
All right.
Don't worry.
This episode's called We'll Get Into It Later.
Yeah, we'll get to it later.
No, 'cause I wanna-
We'll
we
come
gotta
back
keep
to
it-
We'll get to it later.
We got to keep it in the same order it happened. Right? So we're at the racetrack. I bet 50 on the favorite. I win 170.
We'll get into that later.
We're getting into it now, Chase.
You actually only won. You only won. Wait, you only won one.
Well, 120, but I had 50. But they gave me
Gotcha.
170.
But we'll get into that later. Sorry.
So
50 back. We'll get into
I
that
got
later.
a $100 bill and a bunch of cash, and now I'm running around buying hot dogs and beers for everybody. I'm spending way more money than winning anyway. We're having a blast, though. It's fun. Chase shows up. Everyone's
Shows up in
betting.
Shows up in holy jeans and a t-shirt. Everyone's dressed to the nines, including you guys.
Yep.
I had a sweater over my shoulders.
Yeah.
Didn't even put it on.
You guys understand that you are sharing a microphone, right?
Wait, what?
You guys have gotten that premise
Oh,
yet?
yeah.
You guys are sharing
Shit,
a
my
microphone.
bad.
So, like, when one of you
Can
is
I?
talking
I'm gonna act
and
like
the other one
can
holding
I
the
act like-
microphone?
I'm gonna act like Carson Daly in 1993.
No, it's totally okay
Hi.
if you don't quite
My-
understand the premise of this. I mean, you're both just not only in radio and entertainment businesses, so you understand when a microphone's in front of your face, you get it, right?
Well, we have not been bar hopping all day, so
That's not true.
okay. So continue the story because this story starts to get good.
It does get good.
And you did chop out a lot of my story, but we'll edit that out in
What?
post.
Let's go to your
Just
story.
kidding. No. You had a good thing going.
I think my
Oh,
pod-
okay. If we just want to talk about me,
I do
I'm
want.
just kidding.
Well, so
Go
Chase,
ahead, go ahead.
Chase
No,
flew
go on
in.
the normal story.
I don't even know
We'll
your
get to
story.
that later.
Chase,
Just go do your thing, Brian.
Pat, you and Chase have a podcast called "We're Not Sure What's Going to Happen Yet."
Called This is going nowhere. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, this is our podcast. Wait.
No.
We'll get to it later, but first we're gonna interrupt ourselves.
Oh my God! Somebody just tweeted me.
Derailing myself. Derailing myself.
All right.
Oh my God.
Go.
I'm kidding.
Don't hurt your
Brian, you're the storyteller. Go.
Don't
No,
hurt
I-
your brand.
Oh, you're right.
Just get to it later.
Yeah,
You're right. We'll get to it later. Okay. So I mean, I don't know. Was there much fun at the? I mean, the horse track's horse.
It was awesome.
Betting horses.
So here's the deal.
To the beer part.
I lost every single
getting
bet.
there.
I lost every single bet that I made all day.
All right, coming up later
All
in the
day.
show, Chase really wants me to tease this show because he wants to know the schedule.
Dude.
Coming up later in the show, I talk about how I try to fight everyone in the house.
We'll get
And
That's how you get listeners, Brian.
Yeah.
Tease it.
Okay.
Coming up soon, we're gonna talk about how Brian almost killed everyone. But first, we're gonna
first we
get
talk
to
about
this later.
Yeah, we'll get to that
drunky
later.
story about horse racing. I kind of like where this is going. It's chaos.
good. It is
but
chaos.
It should be chaos. We're in a basement with a
I
skeleton.
mean, we're trying to get it all out before we go to the wedding and embarrass ourselves.
Yeah, you're right.
Plug it on Facebook Live.
Plug it.
Tell them, hey, when you listen to this show later, refer back to the video.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Go check out the video. You're right. Drive forward momentum to social media. So
I
horse
lost
racing-
every single bet all day.
Okay, so here's the thing I hate.
I made a million bets.
Here's
I bet
what
on
I love.
every race, 10 races.
Here's what I love
lost
about
every
horse
single
racing and
one.
also hate about it is like you can make all these complex bets like trifecta, box, all superfecta, all these dumb things. When
I know
really,
where this is
just
going, and
think-
I already hate it.
I think you just bet one horse straight up to win,
I know what you think.
and then if the horse wins,
Because it
you
worked
win.
twice.
Yes. Well, we'll get into that later. Stop dropping details outside of the story.
And the smell of myself.
It's good.
Yeah, Chase is very musty. He hasn't worn deodorant in
Okay,
over
listen,
30
we're in a
Refer back to the video.
we're in a basement that has people buried. There's a skeleton sitting right next to me. Yeah. Oh yeah, and
Okay,
Chase. Yeah, here, Bo.
So we're leaving the race. We're
Dude's a
leaving the
little
race.
gamey,
We
too.
get out to where we're supposed to go. We all have to leave at 6 o'clock to go back to bar hopping or whatever. I don't make it up.
Go
for
back
that.
to bar hopping. We didn't want to be late.
New podcast rule. I'm gonna ring this bell when we get off track.
All right.
Continue.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
That's good.
So we go back to where we were stationed at. It's called the Hill. There's like a big screen TV, like tables to sit at, and we're making bets. And I have a $100 bill that I won earlier, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not
And
leaving
I have
this.
a hot tip on Mike Smith. He flew
Right.
in from Ecuador just for this race.
Yes,
to
true.
Ride this
I was
one
about
horse.
to throw you that detail, and
Oh.
then you jumped in.
Sorry.
So Chase is about to ding the bell. So I'm like, I'm gonna bet this $100, right? Our friend Jake, we grew up with, raises race horses in Lexington. Pat and Jake are best friends. Okay. Jake then gives him a hot tip on who, Pat?
Mike Smith.
And Mike Smith
No,
is who?
actually, the hot tip came from Vicky. Vicky gave me the hot tip.
Oh,
on
by Mike Smith?
Yeah, and then Jake confirmed it and was like, "No, he flew in for this race." And I was like, "Okay."
So
And
we're
she-
thinking this
and
guy's like
Vicky
money.
Vicky was like, she was like twerking happy. She was
So-
like, "Oh, Mike Smith."
So we're thinking this guy's money. This little Peruvian Mike Smith, who's 5'1",
Yeah.
110 pounds, flew
Of
in
sexy.
on this race in the overhead carry-on. Got a belt. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Like a good producer should.
That is-
I'm not a producer today. I'm a guest.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm talent.
Guest
today.
star.
Talent.
So we put $100 on Mike Smith to win this race, right?
Yeah.
And he lost by 6 inches.
6 inches.
He took second
and
by
he was
6
in
inches.
the back the whole he was playing like a champ though, like a veteran.
That's what everyone says when they lose by 6 inches.
Yeah,
He's a champ. He's a champ, though.
He's a champ.
He's a champ.
So
Hey, no.
that's Chase's job,
Hey, get the
Patrick.
fuck outta
Damn
here.
you.
That was a good tangent. When I go on
Patrick.
a tangent, it's okay. When you guys do,
Bells.
all right, continue.
All right, continue.
Continue.
So we lose his $100. I'm like, dang it. But earlier on, we went back to get drinks at the tent, and Chase, veteran maneuver, some man.
Let me get the
Hey,
mic.
get into that. So how did this happen? How did
There we
this
go.
transpire? How did you sell beer from Kristen's wedding party for $20?
I can't believe you just ratted me out like that because I felt
Snitch!
I felt guilty about it enough.
Snitch!
So here's the story. So here we go. We were officially wasted,
Yeah. Hammered.
hammered. Okay, good question.
Hammered.
We were hammered, and that was the only place that free booze was at.
Yeah.
Was back
The
when you
tent.
got-
We had to go-
back
and we had to
where
go
it all
home, too.
began. That's the theme of the wedding.
Right.
Back where it all began. For us, it meant a
The
different
blue
thing.
tents, yep.
It just meant the tents, not where we met and we had sex for the first time.
Or whatever they did.
Okay, but so we needed booze. We walked back to the tent. There were a couple coolers around, and some drunk Kentuckian. Sorry to offend you Kentuckians, but this guy was.
They're at the
I'm
cracks,
gonna
they're
do an
drunk.
impression of him right now. Hey, you guys got any goddamn beer?
It's a pretty good impression, dude.
Yeah, and so I just looked down at the cooler. There were 3 beers. He pulled out. To make this thing short, he pulled out a $20 bill. He pulled out a $20 bill, and I gave him 3 beers, and he gave me $20.
Yeah.
So I sold some of Kristen's beers. Sorry, I'm an asshole. But we spent we got $20. And then Brian, this might be where you want to wrap it up.
Yes,
because,
great.
Okay, so I get $20 in my pocket, and just remember that Chase has $20 in his pocket.
Chase, a veteran move.
Dangerous man.
Because everyone already left already, right? So we sell a couple beers to some drunky idiot.
And I was
for $20.
very sad about doing that.
No, don't be sad, because then what happens, what transpires is amazing. Then we lose that $100 bet. We're over there. Last race of the day. Last race of the day. We have $20. I'm like, you know what? You know what vindicates us, Chase?
I still want to dance. I still want to dance about this.
Dancing, you're so dance.
It was so great. We put $20 on horse.
Don't forget your $100 bet. Oh,
I lost that one. Yeah. $20. $20 on a 28-1 long shot named Kitten's Karma, and I'm like, put it on there. $20, right? We're sitting there.
Jake was the one, and Jake was like, I've been betting at the races at this track for 15 years. This is the most uninformed bet. Like, this is the most uninformed, just straight emotional bet I've ever made.
Of course.
In my life.
We don't know what we're doing.
No.
And I remember I don't know if it.
Uh-oh.
The mic cord fell out of the thing. You guys are really killing it over there.
Can you just shout?
Nope.
No, I remember.
You plugged. I can't believe the mic cord fell out of the microphone.
It's a ghost, man. The ghost did it.
I told you there's.
You
6
guys
of us
are
down here.
drunk.
3 of us. No, but
Oh, shut it down.
I never. Oh, we haven't gotten to it
coming
yet.
from this guy.
We haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, damn! This bell's breaking in my lap.
Don't break the ghost bell. Don't break the ghost bell.
Well, okay, now we're
Ghost
serious.
bell.
I'm serious.
No. But for real, where were we?
Oh, so we make this $20 bet.
Okay, so
What about
that's
it?
okay. Yeah. So you guys were talking about your buddy who's really good at horse racing, who's done this his whole life.
Yeah.
And I swear, I don't want to put all the thanks on me, but I swear to God, I turned around and I looked and I saw the biggest loser.
Yeah.
The biggest loser, and it was like 20-1 odds. And we had already lost. We just lost $100.
Yep.
I had lost little fives here and there throughout the day.
Yep.
I lost money.
Right. So, and I'm not taking all the blame for this. Sorry. Yeah.
It's all good.
You don't have a
I'm
mic.
shouting.
As long as you shout into the microphone, you're fine.
I'm shouting.
But yeah, and then so I was so drunk, I said that loser 20-1 odds, and then that was it.
Okay.
I threw my 20 at someone, and that was it.
Okay.
You could have told me I didn't. We lost, and I wouldn't.
Dude,
gotten
you
any of
nailed
this
it. So what happened was
Gosh,
you nailed it, but that's
You
gambling.
nailed it.
That's gambling. 28-1, but it's just one
There's
race.
no reason. You can't
No, there's
put
no
reason into it.
So we
You
have
can't.
this
There's
this
no reason
situation
in
where
any of it.
we're
It's
last
all
race of the day.
nonsense.
We're all sitting out in this field with these tables, and we're 28-1.
And Mike Smith was 6 inches from going in.
Because after Mike Smith lost, we win this race.
Mike Smith.
What is it? $700 some dollars?
780.
No, 700. So it was 20 on like
28-1 odds. We won
28 to
6.
1.
Everyone left with $100.
Which was 580.
I left with $200.
And then, well, what's 3 to 1? What's
Chase had 200 too? Oh yeah, we gave Chase 200 too because he also was the one who
200,
brokered the beer
200.
sale.
And you guys weren't gonna give it to me. Everyone gave me. I got $100, and everyone was like, "You're good." And then someone had $100, and like, "What do we do with this?" Like, give it to me,
yeah,
goddamn
give
it.
to you. And then Davi wouldn't take $100 from me.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Tommy wouldn't take our blood money.
Hold on, I'm the guy with the mic now.
Okay.
This is my
Okay,
mic.
here's another fun.
I can't
I'm the
trust-
guy with the mic.
You
Here's
guys
a fun part
can't
of the
be
story.
trusted with
I
any
almost
microphones.
lost. I almost lost the ticket too. Like I was this close. Like I thought I looked in my pocket and all I had was a $3 ticket because I made 2 bets because I put the bets in. So my effort, I did my part.
You did it. You nailed it.
I put the bets in, and then I came back and I was like, I put the $20 bet in first. Then I went back again and I did 2 trifectas and put another $3 on the 3 horse on
Right.
Kitten's Karma. And I came back and it won. And Jake was like, "Oh, I put $15 on it. And I think I won like $500." And I was like, "Oh man, I put $20 on it, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I pulled out the ticket, and all I had was the $3 ticket. And I was like,
You was
"What
on the
have I
table.
done?"
It was like underneath a drink.
It was underneath
the
the
table.
drink on the table, and we almost like. And Jake and I were the only one who were like in on this disaster because everybody was like, "Did we win?" Like not really paying that much attention. And I was like, "Fuck." I mean, fudge.
You're welcome.
Dang it. Yeah, thank you. This is why I shouldn't have the mic.
Well, I like to keep it clean on the podcast.
There've been 3.
I almost dropped an F-bomb last week when I was talking about the Star
There-
94
So you don't drop
situation.
F-bombs.
Not on in my real life all day, every day.
Well, thought I was gonna do it.
but not.
Well, fudge.
Okay, so we leave
Okay.
the racetrack,
Yeah, sure.
winning $700.
I can't get my mind off the cussing part now.
They just
That's all I
focused.
wanna
You'll
do.
be fine.
Focus
Okay.
Hey, every time you cuss, I'm
What
ringing the
the-
bell.
Okay. Go.
So we leave the racetrack, and we are in good spirits, and I am drinking a lot, and I'm having fun, having one of the best days ever. We're celebrating Kristen and Bart. We're having so much fun. We get back to the house, keep drinking. We locked ourselves out of the house again. We've done that every time.
Well, and I got in.
No,
You know,
do
breaking.
you not know how storytelling works? I'm
Not
getting
really.
to that point.
We'll get to that later.
I have to say that because both you idiots try to jump in with parts of the story that are jumping.
I know. I get excited.
See, I thought
Okay.
you're. Listen, I'm just used to you hijacking my stories. So,
God
like, I think that
damn.
you're just gonna take.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that you're gonna beat me up.
We'll get to that later.
That is later. Shit.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Fuck, we're still in the money part.
We're not even in the house yet.
Hey, we can short this podcast up. So we lost a lot of money betting on horses. The very last bet of the day. Chase had $20 that he sold some beer to. We put that $20 on an underdog, won $700, and then we all split it up. I got 200.
Great.
Brian got 200. Pat, sorry you got fucked. You didn't get 200. And then story
Great.
closed.
Here's the thing about Chase.
Done.
You're right. We can sum up all these stories with a tweet, but the whole point is we're building a story.
Wait, is this a podcast?
Yeah, we don't have any
How do I
commercial
listen
breaks.
to the link? Send me the link.
He's just mad at listeners right now. So we get here.
There's no link.
Podcast. Can you send me an email?
I'm mad at my
Dude,
dad.
just search it. Search it. It's easy. Search it. Hey, Plan C Radio, don't edit that out.
I'm not gonna edit. I don't have time to edit. This is going up before Kristen's wedding.
I love
we're
it.
gonna have
Oh
to-
yeah, we got to talk about the wedding too.
We haven't even gotten there. We'll get to that later.
I know.
We'll get to that later.
Talk about how I broke the into the
I'm
house.
going to.
I love this podcast.
You guys are both the worst. Okay.
All right.
We get. You're right. Thank you for the bell. We get to the house.
You guys want some
Shoot. You're colossal morons. We haven't even talked about how creepy this house is. There's Christmas ornaments on the table. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Go to the
We haven't
Facebook
talked
Live
about
video.
Skeletor yet, huh?
Skeletor's there. We'll get to that later.
Guess what? Shocker. We'll get to that later.
I told.
Brian, I'm sorry.
It's
Go,
like
go,
I'm
go.
like herding cats right now.
Go, Brian. Continue.
Okay.
Do you know where you're
We
at?
get to the house.
Hey, can I just say that the recorder is on a VHS manual?
I can't do it. I might die.
Don't answer any of their questions.
Kidding. Sorry. I'm just yelling at people. on
Hey,
Facebook
can we
Live.
answer? Can we field some questions?
We're gonna do question at the end.
This
Later.
isn't the end.
We'll get to that later.
I love this.
So we get.
This is a good podcast.
We
We'll get
get
to that later.
We get to the house.
Called Frizz Brian.
Do you guys know how stories work? We'll get to it
I
all.
just
later.
understand how comedy works.
Never get to.
I'll get to-
And that's the show.
Yeah.
So what happened when you get to the horse races?
You're gonna have to tune in next week. Tune in next week for the podcast.
All right, so what were you
Okay.
talking about?
We get to the house. The house is locked.
Okay,
Locked.
what else? And then I
Now,
came in through
Bert-
the window.
God damn.
Put in an easy joke right now. Just put in an easy joke. We'll get to that later. A laugh track would make this so much better.
You guys are the worst. Man.
Brian,
All
I
right,
can
go,
turn
go,
off
go.
your microphone. Don't
Brian.
What?
We just now figured out how to switch mics.
Yeah, we're doing this.
We just now figured out how to switch mics.
Tweet at me at Mood Points and just tweet me kitten videos because I right now want to snap on both of them. And I
Brian-
haven't gotten to the snap
Brian,
part
but
yet.
no, he knows who's gonna hit. Who's gonna hit first?
We haven't got to that.
Well,
We'll get to that later.
So we're
So
locked, out of the
out-
house, and then what
Shut
happens?
your yap. Locked out of the house. We get there. We get to the house. Bert is now calling Amy to try to get us into the house because we locked ourselves in like idiots again. We left the key on the counter, and the woman who owns the house came by, probably concerned about the fact that a bunch of idiots are staying at her house. And I'm gonna shove that bell so far up your ass.
After I knock him out.
We'll get to that later. So I hope people. Yeah, I don't know. I hope people are finding this entertaining.
This is the best. This is
So then Patrick has to break into the house. We both like start tugging on the security bars. It just falls off immediately. We open the window that's unlocked, and I shove Pat into the room with the skeletons. Face first.
He did.
Pitch black. He
did.
climbs through into the room with the skeletons.
Breaking into a haunted house is not. It feels like the beginning of a movie. Like
Preemptive bell.
it was like the beginning of Monster Squad. Like, what am I doing in
Yeah.
here?
Is it like Monster Squad or Monsters Inc?
Squad.
Okay. Do you like Monster Inc though? It's pretty good.
Say, I have a quick question. I kind of want to do a thing called.
Monster Squad, though.
Okay, so after the
ball, Halle Berry naked with
Oh God, all about that.
coming up.
Keep it clean.
Coming up in 1 minute, we're going to talk about the rest of this story. But right now, I'm going to do a segment called I'm going to go make a drink. And Pat and Chase are going to be in the basement
Oh my
filling time.
All right.
And I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what. I'll make you drink it too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I will hear about this later. I want to know what you guys come up and talk with. And then after that, we're gonna jump back into the story. We're trying to fight.
Oh,
everybody.
Halle Berry's boobs.
were
we
we-
were on something.
We're on something. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on. Moving on. We're gonna forget about the ghost story. We'll get to that. 2 minutes.
What was
Coming
that?
up. No,
This is the
no,
bell-free zone. We can do
No.
whatever
This
we
is how
want.
you do it in radio.
Yeah.
Coming up in 2 minutes. We'll get back to the story. But first, did you guys hear about Hopcat in Lexington, Kentucky?
Oh, Hopcat. Love
Hopcat.
Hopcat.
There's this outside part, and I feel like all you listeners are going to say the same thing. Chad, good radio. This
Yeah.
one guy said, "What are you talking about? There's this outside deck, and it's inside."
It's outside, but it's you walk out of the back of the bar, and it should be outside, but it's not because it's inside. It's still inside.
This is a great podcast.
And
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And it's hooked up to every other bar in the whole city.
Yeah.
It's like a warp zone.
Dude, no,
It's
yeah.
like the tunnels in
Everywhere.
Mario Brothers
Okay,
where
so
you hop
listeners,
through and you go from one bar to the
listeners, I know you're just hopped up on this ghost story.
next.
I think that's where we left off.
I know,
but
but we're going to bring it back down a little bit.
let me tell you about Lexington, Kentucky. Every time you come across somewhere that you notice, you will come back across the other way.
Go-
So, like, we made fun of every bar, or we went
it's like
into
an
every
MC
bar.
Escher painting. Like
We
you
went
walk
into
around
all
in
these
circles,
places, and then you just go in one back door,
and then you're everywhere.
and then we were literally looking at each other like we
That's
just.
where the indoor-outdoor patio was.
I felt like someone drugged us.
it was. It happened.
Like, I felt
it was
like
like Inception.
I felt like someone drugged us because we walked in that back door and we were like, "Hey,
well, to be honest,
this is-
we drugged us, but
edit that out." Oh, you're not. I don't have time to edit. But yeah. So Lexington, Kentucky is really small, but it's really cool. There's some babes.
Not
Hey,
bad.
oh yeah.
oh yeah.
No.
Oh,
Let's
how
move
about
on.
the sorority house next
Let's,
door?
let's move on to our next segment. Let's move on to our next segment. This is a recurring. I know if you're a Moot Point listener, this is a segment that you always hear
Yeah.
because you always hear this voice too, Chase Moot.
He's in.
So we're gonna move on to our next segment, and it's called "Is it a sorority house or not?"
Or not. Is it or not?
Is it a
Because there
sorority
was
house
we
or
had
not?
We had a little thing. We had a little bet going on.
Yeah. No.
Is that a sorority house or is that
I
not?
convinced everyone that there were babes across the street
It was a very
because
convincing argument.
my plane
He was
landed.
like, "There's babes across
My
the street."
plane landed way after you guys had already left. I saw two girls go into the house right across from us. Where we're staying at, there's mansions. There's mansions where we're
Mansions
staying.
everywhere.
So it seemed like a sorority house.
Sure.
So there were two girls that walked into this house, and then I came back from wherever I went, and there were
Babes
two
from
more
whatever.
going into the house.
Four
So-
girls.
So four girls all day. I was telling Brian and Pat that there was a sorority house
There
across
was
the street.
at least 4 girls.
So
across
Brian
the
gets
street.
drunk enough, or excuse me, Brian has enough drinks, just like I did, and we walked across the street
Brian was
to introduce
feeling
ourselves.
his oats.
We were gonna go have fun with sorority girls, and we knock on the door, and
They brought a Kentucky Fried Chicken basket.
mom and dad. Sorry, you've given up your privileges. This is be strong.
No. I want to jump in on the story because Chase is right.
No, keep going.
The thing is that Chase and I went over there
didn't go with you
as
guys.
two young, good-looking gentlemen.
Yes.
And we knock on the door to give these sorority girls a gift basket.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man,
I'm
we
so
should've-
sorry.
We gave him one of Kristen Bart's gift baskets.
Edit that out later. Oh, you're not gonna edit that out.
Whoopsies.
Yabo.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
They're gonna be mad about that.
Bart doesn't listen to the internet.
So.
Hey Bart, I
sorry
don't have
about
time
that,
for this
man.
shit.
Sorry about that, man.
Sorry.
So we go over there.
I really
and
nubbed that
we knock
deal.
on the door, and I'm fully prepared for a sorority house. And a parents open the
sorry.
door with like 3
Not only
10-year-old
Not
girls.
only did they open up the door as white people, I think they were so white that they were holding asparagus.
Yes. They were like, "You
I
guys
think-
need some vitamins."
I think that they were so white, like there was a mom and dad. It was little Jason and little Bryson and little Jessica. It was like the whitest family I've ever seen in my life. And you guys are from Washington State. These people were so white. I swear to God, the dad had a plate of asparagus for us.
They could have been from Washington.
That's a Keeneland.
So basically, we creeped out the neighbors.
Yeah, you guys were at the races. You don't want any garlic asparagus?
You're not from.
Can I get a good
So that is the Pat and Chase kill time segment. And from what I walked in at the end, that was a great segment.
It was a great segment. And that concludes our Is it a sorority house or not?
So let's get back to the story. Pat breaks into the house. Pat breaks into the house
We're
on
back
Friday
just
night.
like that.
We are
Yes.
back just like that.
Yep.
Pat breaks into the house on Friday night.
Breaks into
Now,
the
this is when
house.
I'm going to need you guys to fill in some details for me because it gets a little hazy for me at this time because
Okay.
I decided to make an early exit against my own will.
Brian needed to WWMS.
Blackout.
What
Mom
would
say
Mom
go to bed.
say?
Mom would say
What
drink
would
water
Mom
and
say?
go to bed.
Drink water and go to bed.
But it was very impressive.
It was.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie. When someone tells me to calm down, that's when I get more lit.
Oh,
That's when
me?
I say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm too drunk.
No,
Watch me chug this liquor."
not
You
me.
you had enough drinks to know, and you try to ghost, and you just did.
Okay.
I have no self-control.
We'll get to that
So
in a minute.
we're walking. So we're leaving. So we're
Hold on,
at-
hold on. We haven't even. I
we're
haven't
not
even-
there. We're not there. Okay. So we're in the kitchen,
Yeah, we're in the kitchen.
and
We're in the
Brian
kitchen.
is
Drunk.
Brian
I'm
is
drunk.
is drunk.
And
But
I-
he starts.
And I'm
there-
stubborn
somehow,
and I like to be funny and pick
Somehow
arguments.
it comes up that Brian wants to know what would be the best way to defeat all of us in some sort of 3-on-1
I
match.
can't remember how it came out.
Like you were
So
just
we're in
having
the
a Royal
kitchen.
Rumble in your head, and
We're in
you
the
wanted
kitchen.
to understand, like you wanted to understand what it would take. He was like, basically, all I need to do is neutralize Chase with one punch to the face,
hopefully.
and then Bert and Pat are toast. Like,
So-
and that was it. It
So
was like Bert
you're,
and Pat
you're
are toast.
framing
and then-
this wrong a little bit.
No,
So,
not at all.
No, the debate was, and I got heated
There
about
was
it,
no debate.
No, hold on. The debate was, one, I said I could fight all three of you and
Yes.
win. And then I went into the strategy I would use, which I said my strategy was I have to get Chase first. And I have to get the jump on Chase. Because Chase
Sure.
is the biggest of the three of you.
But
he's
Bert
strong,
and
he's
I are
athletic.
working
He's
on our
also younger-
physiques, and
he's
that's very
younger than both of you.
offensive.
Yeah, I mean, it is
It's
what
just
it
a little
is, dog.
offensive.
You got to pick.
I'm huge.
You got to pick your.
I'm huge. Everybody knows it.
And yeah, podcast world. I'm 280. Muscle.
bench.
I'm 320.
Great story breaker, Chase. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to your bench later, bro. Hey, you know what?
Wrap it up.
We are going to talk to Chase about his bench press 16 weeks on our next episode of the
next
podcast.
episode. Next episode of the terrifying Lexington.
Yeah, that's Chase over there. Good radio.
Skeletor.
Chase, what's your bench?
It's huge. It's huge.
They're making the skeleton answer that.
Skeletor answered it. God damn it! Why
Alright.
isn't this?
All right, so we're back.
Go.
And also, I'm doing no editing
I'm
on this.
Pat
so
now.
fine.
I'm Pat now.
You're being-
I've been cussing a lot.
I don't care. It's fine.
Okay. Hey.
There's been
Get over it.
6 cusses.
So,
Well,
Not
it's
just
about
from
it's
you.
about to be
That's
more
between all of us.
mother.
Give
God,
it.
you
give
two,
it
man.
over.
I
All
want
right.
a podcast for you guys just called Nothing Happens.
No,
Yeah.
it's called. We'll get to that later,
all right.
Brian.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, you open the podcast going.
That later, but first.
that later.
But first.
Yeah, you guys open the podcast going like, "Hey, it's,
Edit that out. That's our new title. We'll get to that later. But
it's
first,
the Pat and
Shut the
Chase. It's the Pat and Chase show.
Don't
We're gonna
swear
talk
show.
about Bill O'Reilly sexual harassment firing
Why would we
later
get-
on in the show. But first,
That's
that's
my job.
that's called a joke, man.
Oh, I got you.
It's a joke.
You
guys
were
like-
just- you
you
sold
guys
it to him.
tease.
Okay.
You guys tease heavy.
So Brian
situ-
tried to fight everybody in the house.
No, I didn't try to. I just told you
he
how
just
I'd do it.
strategized how he would do
And I
it.
said I'd kill Chase first.
Basically,
and then I
he was
two on
like,
one.
if I neutralize,
So
he
knock
said
him out.
neutralize Chase.
Neutralize
with,
Chase.
with one punch, and then Pat and Bert are
Well,
like,
okay,
no
but my
big
one
deal.
punch doesn't mean Chase knows it's coming. My one punch means that I decided that I'm going to fight all three of you, and Chase is getting the first shot, and he doesn't know it's coming, and then I get Chase out of the way, and then I go after you and Bert.
I know, but I
And you
think
and Bert,
underestimate.
Bert and you were
Me and-
pretty pissy about it.
We would be like a team.
little
We would be
offended.
like a WWF wrestling team, like Dink and Doink. Like we would be like the clowns. Like we would fight back. We would use each other, our strengths and weaknesses together in order to crush you.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
I like the way you hold a microphone.
Yeah, I
Look
hold
really
like a man.
professional.
Bert's here.
Bert.
Bert's in.
Coming
We're
to you
recording a
live.
podcast.
Here it is. Should we
Thanks
get
for the
ready?
podcast.
Is it time to get ready for the wedding?
Bert looks ready.
You're ready. We're on the.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
do.
all right, it's all right.
I know how to.
I used to be in the corporate world. Bert's had everyone.
We have to leave in
What's
like
up?
45 minutes.
I'm looking
All
really
right.
good. I just don't know how to tie in the.
We're gonna do it.
There's a weird smell up in the other floor.
What is
and,
it?
the Airbnb owner just came on in to say hi. That was odd. Who knows? It's weird. It's
Is
weird.
it gas? Did somebody leave the gas
just-
on?
I don't know. We just both kind of looked at each other like, huh? It's kind of smells a little strange in here. So that's probably it.
Probably
odd.
it. Must be.
Chives and manure.
What are we talking about?
Oh, we're just telling the story about last night about how I tried to fight all you guys.
Oh my god, hilarious.
Well, we were talking about it because like Pat knows this about me when I get drunk. I like think it's funny to discuss ridiculous scenarios. That's our bell in case we get off task.
Oh, okay.
Chase brings it. So last night I was discussing my strategy if I had to fight all three of you, and I was pretty convinced I could take all three of you in my mind.
Well, the beauty of the whole thing is not that you were detailing how you would beat all three of us, but we all spent 30 minutes on saying exactly how that couldn't happen, going fist for fist, blow for blow.
We walked through
on
the whole thing.
We walked through the exact thing on how that we would never let that happen.
I know.
And it legitimately took us 30 minutes.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's fun. I love those kinds of weird, stupid. I mean, granted, I was like, I needed to black out. I needed to go to bed, and I missed half the night last night.
Watching Brian try an Irish exit is the funniest thing in the world because he like tiptoes like a cartoon character. It was like he's 230 pounds of man trying to tiptoe across a lawn.
So Pat, me, who else? Tiffany, who else is like walking in the front group, right?
Yeah.
And now at this point, you're not even putting together a sentence. It's all just a run on words.
It's just me
right?
trying to fight everyone.
But you were a gamer and tried going out, right? And then you know how you can feel when there are people behind you and you can feel that there's nobody. So I felt there was nobody behind me, and I looked back, and then your eyes caught my eyes, and then you just stopped. In like you like looked at me with like, if I just stay here like a statue, he's not gonna realize that it's me.
It's like Predator. If you don't move,
If I don't move, he can't see me.
Right. And then you went in, and Patrick ran after you, and I was a little surprised that you even made it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so this morning.
Box jump. Thanks for the call out on Twitter.
It was a quarter of a box jump.
So I woke up this morning going, man, did I just forget half the night, or did I just not make it out? 'Cause I look at all these videos, and I'm like, they were out last night. I was like, and Pat we were in the same bed again.
WWMD.
Why are we in the same bed again?
Because I spent like an hour and a half down in the basement before I decided to go to bed, and I couldn't.
Oh,
I
you're
tried
scared.
to lay in that room by myself, and I spent 4 minutes.
I woke
in there,
up
and I
with
was like,
Pat
I gotta
in my
sleep
bed.
with Brian again.
Pat is in my bed this morning, and I'm getting all these Facebook and Twitter notifications like, you guys were out last night. And I was like, dude, like, how blacked out were you? Like, you did all this stuff, but you're not naming the photos. And then Pat goes like, dude, you didn't even come close to making it out.
Nah, for about 6 steps, and then froze.
In the yard.
And froze in the yard like a yard statue. That was it.
I have a theory that when call me crazy, but Bert, I have a theory, and you know me pretty well at this point. I have a theory when I challenge everyone in the room to fight, I probably should stay in
You
for
weren't
the
even
evening.
challenging us. You were just detailing how it could. Yeah. You weren't going like, I'm going to kick all your asses, because that would be a dick move. You didn't do that. You're just like, let me just tell you guys something, that I could take all of you guys out if I
This is
wanted
how I
to.
do it.
And that's how it all started.
And it basically boiled down to all I have to do is one sucker punch Chase. And then Pat and Bert or nothing.
Well, see, but
like,
that's,
and I was like, we will work together as a
that's
team.
the key,
too.
though. 3-on-1 sounds impressive, but if you sucker punch the first guy, now it's just 2-on-1, and that's reasonable.
Well, you wouldn't be able to suck. Here we are again. We're doing it again. Because by the time that you go to Chase, while much shorter and way
You've
less
got
than
your
you,
karate hands up.
I would have enough momentum just to push you out of the way enough for both Chase and I and Patrick to get on top of you and whoop your ass.
Well, see,
I
but
would be
that's
spraying lighter fluid on you to like set you on fire. There's
I
no.
saw the big old handle of
You guys
vodka.
are
I put
falling-
that over your head. I just smash it on top
See?
of your head.
I think
Bert,
you're
you
the
guys
only
are-
one with moves, Brian. We were
you
about
guys
to
are
kill
falling
you.
right back into my trap again. Bring me back into the debate about my Royal Rumble debate.
We may like when someone's giving a speech tonight at the wedding. You might just want to stand up and go, wait before you keep going.
I will
Well,
fight
I got-
everyone. If I had to fight all of you, that's how I do it. You
How
gotta
many
go-
guys are at the wedding party? How many? 6? Oh, whoop all of you.
Ooh, but here's the question on that.
Start with you, big
If
boy.
I was gonna,
Get over here.
odds-wise, if I was gonna fight the wedding party,
Yeah.
do I go Coy Wire, former NFL player, first, get the sucker punch, or Bart? Bart's got Bart rage and dad strength. Who do I go for?
Bart
first?
would kill you with a look.
Yeah, well, you can't sucker punch. That's not part of fighting.
That's
That's not. That's not
Bert,
a fight.
All I
Bert
have to
in
do
a-
is sucker punch.
Bert in a group fight where you're looking about
All
like,
I
so
have
I was
to do
gonna like this.
is
If I had
sucker
to
punch
fight my
Jean-Claude
way,
Van Damme, and I could beat that guy up.
sometimes in the studio I think like, if I had to fight my way out of here, like who would I go for?
Why
first?
would you
Yeah,
think
right.
that?
Why would we like, what is going to so horribly happen on the air where you're like, oh, damn, now I got to kick everybody's ass, including 3 women.
I'm feeling all trapped in by this.
I don't know,
huge-
but
by this
I don't know, but
Dobby
I'm-
chick.
I'm
She's
going
really
over the
making
board
me
at Tommy
threatened.
first. I'll say that much.
Yeah, and with the wedding party, you
sucker punch Tommy, and then
Yeah.
Tommy's he's got
Well, so in a
celebrity
group fight, the sucker punch that you got to make your sucker punch count.
It's not.
Why-
A,
what-
you can't-
what-
there is no
it's not
such
a
thing as a
fight.
soccer
Okay,
punch.
so but they don't know like so it's like I get the jump on you. Like you guys are like, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, man, maybe, and I'm like, I don't know, and then I just throw a punch at Chase's face before he's ready. You two know it's coming. He doesn't
we had
because
no
you
idea.
saw what just happened at the first guy.
Listen.
Now if I miss on that, then
Again,
over.
when we are all on our deathbeds, the last thought we're going to have is, 45 minutes out of our life was spent
No.
talking about how we could
Bert,
kick
on my-
Ryan's ass
Bert, here's-
together.
here's
40
what we-
and we're going on 50 minutes.
Here's where we differ right now. On my deathbed, I'm gonna be like, how am I gonna fight my way out of this hospital?
I'm pretty sure there's not,
what nurses am I gonna kill?
I'm-
And who do I gotta punch first?
I'm pretty sure there's going to be no deathbed for you. I think it's going to be quick.
You think Blaze
it's
of
gonna
Glory?
Be, it's going to be a car or a bus that'll hit you, or like you last night, it could have been that box jump and then concussion.
Dude,
falling
my brain-
into an Uber or
Listen,
Lyft.
For
Had
some
I
reason.
not decided to
Oh wait, I could have. What about the old ladies that I was?
Oh, Pat was about to burn it down. Some old ladies last night in some weird hotel. in
I actually
Lexington.
thought they legitimately thought they had a chance. Like there was one who was
they
like,
did have a chance.
How clean do you guys keep the podcast?
Hay muchas maneras de enviar dinero a casa y todas las empresas me prometen buenos tipos de cambio y transferencias seguras. Puede ser abrumador. Comencé a utilizar Remitly porque puedo seguir mi dinero en cada paso, lo que me permite saber exactamente cuándo mi mamá recibirá su dinero. Y con su extensa red de pagos, mi mamá puede recibir su dinero de una manera más conveniente y segura para ella. Ve a remitly.com o descarga su aplicación para comenzar. Remitly Inc. es un medio para transferir dinero autorizado por los estados de Nueva York, California, Massachusetts y otros estados.